I am Jerry Patton, a 1961 graduate of Edmonson County High School. I have lived here my entire life. I was born and raised in Sweden and grew up there.
He was the center of our world, and we actually, if we went somewhere, we would speak who's going to hold Jerry when we get home. And his mother had to do the same. She had no rights.
Well, I think my favorite memories of growing up from Edmonson County is all the people that I got acquainted with and knew from my childhood. You know, they were all very supportive of me and helped me in every way they could. And, you know, they were a very important part of my life.
It also let me drive in the funeral home, and I had my first collision at the ripe age of 11 because I was driving around the parking lot and ran into one of the posts in the funeral home. I could get him on any Ferris wheel, any roller coaster. He was my partner in crime. Mom and Allison were chickens and they wouldn't ride anything, but Dad would always ride all of the fun rides with me.
There's been friends who've let me down.
Well, really and truly, I don't think that my accomplishments have been that great, but, you know, probably as a minister, seeing people saved and you know, the joy that they have from that and everything would be the one thing that I'd have to say was my greatest.
When I was 10 years old and went to the altar, Brother Jerry left his own daughter to try to help me get saved.
Probably my very best memory of Dad was when he was by beside me, my husband, my nephew, and all three of my boys when we were saved. And that's the very best memory. Our times together in church is the best memories that I have.
I don't regret the times I trusted.
He's been a father figure, and I have a wonderful father. But Jerry has assumed that role because Jerry and I are together a lot of days, 12, 14 hours together. So I'm with him a lot of times more than anybody else. My wife, my kids, my extended family. So, you know, I spend a whole lot of time with him, know him very well. He knows me very well, and I've been fortunate and blessed. Business-wise, I would put him up against anybody. He has a name throughout this Commonwealth that's unbelievable.
When he did anything, it had to be 100% right, though, maybe 110. And to me, he's still that same person.
One of the things I've always admired about Jerry is if he asked you to do something, you knew that he had done it himself or he was willing to do it himself. He didn't ask anybody to do anything that he wouldn't do himself.
He was a great person to prioritize things, learning how to balance family time, church time, and his business. Dad could just wear so many different hats.
I was fortunate enough to go through our state association chairs, we call it. Jerry did it years beforehand. As I traveled the Commonwealth, 80% of the people knew Jerry Patton and knew the work that he did. You know, it wasn't just that he was a funeral director. He was a good funeral director. It wasn't just that he was an embalmer. He was a great embalmer. And I've witnessed it with my own eyes.
The times I trusted in his word. I've seen the years.
So about Edmonson County to me is this, is the people, you know, they are loving, compassionate, kind group of people that puts their arm around people and tries to help them, and I think that is very important for a community to be very supportive to their young people, and I think they did that with me very well.
Jerry sees his immediate family as so important, but also Jerry sees his community as an extension of his family.
The one memory I have of singing with the guys was our first time that we sung at the state singing convention. It was a great big crowd, and they wouldn't let you sing but 2 songs, and they had so many rules and regulations you couldn't hardly breathe. But when we got finished singing our round, the crowd booed. They booed the people because they wouldn't let us sing more.
I started singing with them when I was probably about 3 or 4, and we've driven countless miles singing together, and even as an adult, we sang together in our family group, the Cornerstones.
We've been to Louisville, we've been to Litchfield, we've been all around South Central Kentucky. But it'd take too long to explain those, but I can remember those singings individually in my mind and how much fun we had and what I learned from him as a singer, as a quartet man. And he loves that as much as he and I love to go eat lunch.
I start my day off with prayer, and if you do that, the day goes better than my day does. And I recommend that to anybody, that they'd start off their day with prayer and devotion to the Lord. And if we put Him first in our lives, He'll always help us.
He always tells me to follow my heart and to pray. And I feel like that's been the greatest example that he's given, not only to me, but to everyone else.
And Dad walked down that hall and he left footprints in the carpet. That was the first moment that I really realized, can I really follow in these footsteps?
Now flows in my veins, and I, who was wretched and poor, now can sing. Praise God, I'm a child of the King. Oh, it gets sweeter as the days go by. It gets sweeter as the moments fly. His love is richer, deeper, fuller, sweeter as the days.
It's the greatest place in the world. When I was a child, I asked the Lord to let me come back home and make my living here. And I promised Him if He would, I never would leave it again. And I have. It's a great community. Good people, can't beat it.